DeadPOOL. Of course you've heard that word before. Who hasn't? But what does it mean? Where did it come from? And what the heck does it have to do with abusing a chicken? I'll explain so you can be wise to the words. DeadPOOL is a morbid term that has gained widespread popularity because of the Marvel comic character and the blockbuster movies featuring him. DeadPOOL is an antihero and has become famous for his wisecracking, irreverent humor, his extreme violence, and his fourth wall-breaking shenanigans. In the first DeadPOOL movie, Wade Wilson is diagnosed with terminal cancer and volunteers for an experimental treatment that promises a cure. The treatment succeeds and grants him superpowers, making him practically invincible. However, it also leaves him horribly scarred. Before the experiment, Wade was an assassin. After gaining his new abilities and his horrible scars, he wanted to hide his identity, and so he needed an alias. Returning to his favorite bar, which was frequented by assassins and thugs and lowlifes of all sorts, he looked up above the bar at a betting board where they used to wager who among them would die first. A pool of potentially dead men. Wade sees his new name. DeadPOOL.
Captain DeadPOOL. No, just DeadPOOL, yeah.
What's weird is DeadPOOLs like this are real, and the practice of wagering on DeadPOOLs dates back centuries. In fact, way back in 1591, Pope Gregory XIV forbade Catholics under pain of excommunication on wagering on the death of popes, when they would die, and who would take over after them. DeadPOOls were very common in those days. Other DeadPOOls that are common are about celebrities in Hollywood, predicting who would die first and when. Pretty much everything can be the subject of betting these days. Sports, politics, whether a movie succeeds or fails, even the end of the world, and people's deaths, and how long it will take for this channel to reach 1,000 subscribers. But the ultimate question I want to answer is, why is it called DeadPOOL? What does pool have to do with it? Well, first of all, this type of pool has nothing to do with that small body of water in people's backyards that you go swimming in, that I wish I had. That kind of pool, the swimming pool, comes from the Old English pole for a small body of water, as in Liverpool, which means muddy water. But is a dead pool, or a betting pool, an analogy to a swimming pool, in the sense that a pool is a collection of water, and a betting pool is a collection of funds that you can win? Is that the connection? Is that the analogy? Nope. The kind of pool referenced in DeadPOOL has nothing to do with water at all. It's actually about a chicken.
Oh?
You see, back in the Middle Ages, the French used to play a game of chicken, or rather a game with a chicken. French peasants would play a little game of betting, where they would take a pot, throw some coins in there, and force a chicken to run around, while they take turns lobbing rocks at the poor, defenseless little chicken.
And that is chicken abuse.
Does anybody know this is against the law?
So is dressing up a chicken and calling it your wife.
I am not a chicken. Why does he keep calling me a chicken?
Hit the chicken, win the pot, and maybe even the chicken, and maybe even the pot to cook the chicken in. Who knows? That was the game. The pot, where the players held their collective stakes in the game, their bets, may have been a paltry sum, but it came to be called in French a pool, and the game was called jeu de la poule. Why? Because pool in French literally means hen, poulet, chicken. It all goes back to the vulgar Latin pula, or pulus, which means a young animal, especially a young bird. And ultimately the Latin goes back to the Proto-European root, how, which means few or little. And we see that in words like pauper or paucity. What's the moral of the story? Don't abuse chickens. Don't be a chicken. Go ahead, like this video and share with a friend. Over time, the word pool was used for other types of gambling, where players would place their bets in a collective pot, or pile as it were, in the middle of the table. English gamblers stole the French word pool and changed the spelling to pool. In the 17th century, there was a popular card game called pool, where players would place their collective bets in a pot or a pool. And everyone knows that very popular version of billiards, pool, which was the subject of a lot of gambling. And this origin of pool is why we say carpool and pool your resources. Now you're wise to the words. The pool in DeadPOOL has nothing to do with a swimming pool. It goes back to a French game of chicken.
In France, every Frenchman knows his language from A to Z. The French don't care what they do, actually, as long as they pronounce it properly.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.